Hi, it's Alison Edgar, and today I am talking about loss. And loss is never a great thing, whether it's loss of a job, whether it's loss of a relationship, or loss of a loved one. But there's actually some things that you can do to help yourself to cope with loss. So if you are going through a stage of redundancy at the moment, and again, loss sometimes comes to us not through any fault of our own, but how do we cope with that? Well, there's actually 5 stages that can really help you to overcome that loss. So the first stage is denial. So if you have been made redundant, or if you have split up with a partner, a lot of the time you'll be looking back and reflecting to think, oh, they don't mean it, it's okay, it'll all be okay, it's not going to happen, it'll all come back together again, it'll all go back to the way that it was. And that's the stage of denial. The next one is anger. So we get really mad, and at the moment, especially if you've been made redundant, you'll be like, oh, it's the government's fault, oh, it's my boss's fault. And again, the same with relationships, it's always going to be someone's fault. If you've lost a loved one to COVID-19, it's somebody's fault. You want to blame them because the anger is part of your process. The next part is the if only. And that's a difficult part, because that's where internally in your head, oh, if only I had have done this, if only I had have done that, if only I had have left that job before, if only I had worked harder, if only. It's the if only phrase. And it's a tough one because it happens as an internal emotion. But like they say with a lot of things, you have to go down before you can go up. The next stage is probably the most difficult stage, and it's the stage of depression. If you have lost your job, it's the stage where you think I'm not worth much. If you've gone through a relationship breakup, we've all had that duvet time. I can remember duvet time when I just couldn't get out of bed because nothing looked positive. It was all doom and gloom. But the next stage is the stage that will get you through at the other side, and that's the acceptance stage, that you can only control the things which are within you. You cannot control what happens as far as other people go. So I think that the point of this video is to get you to acknowledge which stage you are at in the process. And it is a process. When I work with clients as a behaviour specialist or change specialist, I talk about process, and I talk about things like James Dyson, who makes the vacuums. Things go through a process, and when they follow the process, they come through at the other end. But some processes take longer than others. So the important thing is you know what stage you are at in the loss process, because that will help you to be able to come out stronger at the other end. So to recap on those stages, the first one is denial. You don't believe it's happening. The second one is the anger, when you get really mad and you want to blame somebody else for what's happened to you. The third one is the if only I had done this, if only I had done that, if only I had done the next thing. And the fourth one is rock bottom. It's when you hit depression and you just feel that you have got no self-worth. Don't feel bad when you get to that stage, because you're then on the bounce back, which is the acceptance, and that's when you can choose to make decisions, to actually do things that you want and move forward with your life or your career or your relationship. Because only when you appreciate yourself will other people start to appreciate you. I've been Alison Edgar. Thank you for viewing. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell for the notifications.